My suffering has only just begun. It's the early 2000s, a time when flared jeans were all the rage, frosted tips were somehow socially acceptable, and the Olsen twins ruled the world. No, seriously, if you were a tween with a TV, a DVD player, or even just access to a limited 2, you could not escape the Olsen empire. And in their infinite wisdom, they gifted us with several totally not shovelware games, including Mary-Kate and Ashley's Magical Mystery Mall, a PS1 game so baffling that it feels like an Orbitz-induced fever dream. So grab your Tamagotchi, put on some butterfly clips, and prepare for a shopping spree that defies all logic, because today we're diving into Magical Mystery Mall, where the fashion is questionable, the gameplay is something, and the mystery is why this game exists at all. The game opens with an uncanny valley cutscene showing some of the activities the game has in store, though wildly inaccurately. The models they used for this somehow look even less like the Olsen twins than their low-poly in-game versions, which is absolutely wild to me. Actually, starting the game gives us our first awkward photo shoot loading screen before a cutscene where Mary-Kate and Ashley walk into a mall and immediately accost a jewelry booth. They are then approached by a woman poorly faking a Russian, I think, accent.
Good day, girls. I see you found one of my most special pieces. Ugh, whatever. I'm not paid enough to do, this voice thing.
Which she drops pretty quickly in order to then poorly give us a warning that leads to the premise of our game.
Excuse me. For your information, you kind of have to be careful. Don't put those two pieces together since some of those gems are missing. I've heard strange things have happened. Do you understand? Huh?
Okay, well, be careful. Yeah, right. Someone call the weirdo police.
But do Mary-Kate and Ashley question any of this? Nope. They hear, "Be careful, something strange will happen if you do this," and immediately go, "Cool, let's put it together." And just like that, bam! Everybody but them and the shopkeep are frozen mid-mall shopping.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. No kidding, Mary-Kate.
And now we have to find the gems to reverse the spell. And how do we do that? By playing minigames, of course, because nothing says cosmic reality-breaking catastrophe like a quick round of dress-up and food court hijinks. Each open store represents a different minigame. Naturally, I ran for the first one that I saw, Lizzie's Lunch, because obviously nothing fixes a mall-wide time freeze crisis like working a minimum wage food service job. You get to pick which twin you want to play as, which ultimately doesn't change anything but some minor appearance details. And then boom, we're thrown into a Diner Dash knockoff with some of the worst controls I've ever experienced. The concept is simple. Customers ask for food, you give them food. That's it. But between the floaty ice rink movement and my apparent inability to physically stop in front of a customer, this quickly turned into a nightmare of me skidding past people while holding burgers like some kind of cursed figure skater. Then, the second they added drinks, it was like the game decided, what if we just made it impossible to fulfill orders on time? Enter my sister, who occasionally materializes from the void to help by making drinks for me because apparently interdimensional mall curses are still preferable to basic multitasking. Despite all of this chaos, somehow this is the best minigame in the entire collection. After grinding through multiple shifts at this cursed fictional diner, I finally get my first gem and the food court is now unfrozen. Wahoo! 1 down, 4 more to go. My suffering has only just begun. Next up, it's time for Fash, because apparently, even in a frozen mall, the show must go on. Our mission, dressing both twins for their runway debut. Why? Who knows? But for some reason, the game lets you pick which twin to dress first, as if that has any impact on the game whatsoever. And the clothing selection? Oh, it's peak late 90s. Think flared pants, weirdly cropped shirts with ties for the neckline, and patterns that look like they were pulled straight from a Lizzie McGuire show. Once our fashion icons are ready, it's time for the real challenge. Photographing them on the runway. Easy, right? Wrong. The game gives 0 instructions, the camera controls are inverted for no reason, and you have a laughably small amount of film. So naturally, I wasted half my shots just trying to figure out what the game wanted from me. And every time I failed, the kiosk lady roasted me.
Okay, this is supposed to be really easy.
Ma'am, I am trapped in a mall-based time paradox. I do not need this negativity right now. After an embarrassing number of attempts, I finally scraped together enough points to get another gem. More of the mall is unfrozen, meaning we're halfway to escaping this glitter-coated purgatory. Don't worry though, because we're about to play the creepiest minigame yet. Catch a Wave sounds like it'd be a surfing minigame, but no! It's time to sneak into photos with teenage boys that the twins think are cute. Who signed off on this? Playing this as a tween, not that weird beyond the fact that the girls are stalking these boys and taking pics without their knowledge. Playing this as a grown woman, incredibly creepy. Do not recommend. Also, something whack happened with the twin selection screen and Ashley looks straight out of Whoville. You can see the actual picture that this was supposed to be on the loading screen, which makes it even funnier because you can see the difference right there. But who needs QA? Anyway, whole creepy game is about taking pictures with these lifeguards. They used pics of real kids for this, by the way, and they look so happy to be here.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
You get points depending on how good your pictures are, which really means how clearly you can see the boys. By the final round, they're on to the twins' antics, and they're actively trying to run away and hide from them. The game ends with them being flattered and actually taking pictures with the girls, though, rewarding them for their stalker behavior and setting an excellent example for the children playing this. But hey, creeping is done, gem is acquired, hated every second of it. Then it's time for our fourth minigame. At first, the concept sounds fine. Make a music video. Easy, right? Except there are no guidelines, no instructions, just a void of existential confusion. I honestly had to look up a guide because I couldn't figure out what I needed to do to not lose my mind. So the deal here is you need to time the camera angle switches and add effects at just the right moments to fill up a bunch of meters. It seems simple, but then you realize there's no actual rhythm to it. The dance moves don't matter. The effects are the angles, whatever. The only thing that truly matters is how well you can deal with the complete and utter lack of substance this has. This minigame is so devoid of any meaningful interaction that honestly, there's nothing to say about this. It's a black hole of gameplay. The least minigame game I've ever played. But hey, gem acquired. Moving on. And now it's time for Just Say Snow. And I mean, the concept is simple enough. We're snowboarding. That makes sense. What doesn't make sense is how unbelievably hard this game was to play. It literally took me an hour and a half to clear this thing. I had to put it down and come back the next day. The first track, fine, whatever. But that second track, pure sadism. I beat it through sheer willpower and unrelenting stubbornness. It took me the same amount of time to beat this one minigame as it did to play every other minigame combined. The controls were nonsensical, the NPCs were overpowered, there was no hope. But hey, after crashing out, I finally scraped together victory, and lo and behold, the mall is back to its unfrozen consumerist glory. The kiosk owner congratulates us, and the Olsen twins, who, after everything still seem oddly unbothered, finally go off to shop. If it were me, I would never want to set foot in that mall again, but who can resist the siren call of good deals? With a final best friends forever, the credits roll and we are officially free from this nightmare of a game. When I first played this as a child, I thought it was really fun, but definitely never beat it, and I get why now. It's terrible. I suppose I'm also spoiled by the controls given in modern games though, but even then, just the premise of it, the weird, creepy, like, stalker minigame, and just the fact that none of the games actually connect to a mall other than maybe that first one. It's just random, completely, like, let's throw in different things, because why not? I would say that I give this a solid 1 out of 5. I don't recommend it. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Save yourself. Learn from my pain. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this journey. We'll call it a journey. My goal is to play as many retro games as I can, especially these pretty terrible ones. So if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe. I post new videos every Wednesday and Friday. Until next time, bye!